good day, summoners. Hopefully you're having a fantastic hump day. If you did see my video yesterday, you may have noticed me saying, hey, when are we going to start getting reveals? And 2 hours later, we had some reveals. So let's go over those 20 today, and hopefully can have some more in the coming days. The first leader for today is Azir, Emperor of the Sands, in the Calm and Order category. Your Sand Soldiers have Weapon Master, and then for an energy and exhausting, play 2 Might powered Sand Soldiers unit tokens to your base. Use only if you've played an equipment this turn, which shouldn't be too hard in the brand new equipment set. Draven coming in next.
Not Draven, Draven.
As the Glorious Executioner in Fury and Chaos, which matches his personality precisely. When you win combat, draw 1. You win if you're the only units remain after combat, which with the new cards and the Weapons Master and at least 1 new unit, Draven's gonna have a good time in this set. Our next legend, Irelia, Blade Dancer, for the Calm and Chaos. When you choose a friendly unit, you may exhaust me and pay a ruin to ready it. When you conquer, you may pay an energy to ready me, which makes sense. I believe it's for her Q because obviously she dashes around, and I think that's meant to be the thing here. If we do see an Irelia with ganking, it wouldn't surprise me, and it's going to be kind of how I felt this card would be overall. Coming in as our next legend, Renessa Glask. Mind and Order. Fun to be. This does seem to be the first support character that actually has a supportive role, possibly in a 2v2 or a 5v5 style match. God help us all. When you or an ally hold, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. While your score is within 3 points of the victory score, your gold adds an additional 1 energy, which to me is pretty good. And I do think that they've actually decided to make a pure supportive leader here, so hopefully this does pretty well in those 2v2 matches. And last but by no means least, Legends Sivir, Battle Mistress, in Body and Chaos. When you recycle a ruin, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. When 1 or more enemy units die, ready me. So it does seem to be kind of more of one of those combat tricks where you're going to go in and out, in and out, in and out. That's pretty cool to me, and I do think it's going to be a good deck going forwards. Again, it does need to have those key pieces to help push it forwards. We also received a new champion unit Draven today in Fury. When I win a combat, play a gold gear token exhausted. When I attack or defend, you may pay a Fury, and if you do, give me +2 might for the turn, which makes sense of how this works, and it kind of works somewhat similarly to the other Draven, which you might play over one of in this version of the deck, where if you're winning, you just win harder. And then the other champion unit we saw today was Lucian, Merciless, in the Body type. Weapon Master, when you play me, you may equip one of your equipments to me for a rune colour less, even if it's already attached. The first time I conquer each turn, ready me again. One of us finds peace, one of us walks away. Lucian, fantastic, cool character. I do think the whole idea of the first time I conquer each turn and ready me is the whole Lucian's dash. So, pretty cool. And then we have a lot of the new things to go over. First of all, we're going to talk about the gold token itself. You kill it by tapping it. That will give you an extra energy. Abilities that add resources cannot be reacted to. So, yeah, no one's stopping you from gaining additional sources of power here. Next, we have the Long Sword, which is 2, and you have to spend a Fury. Gear Equipment Longsword, quick draw. This has a reaction. When you play it, attach it to a unit you control, and then to equip, have to pay a Fury. Efforts to create the longer sword quickly run into diminishing returns, but you do gain +2 might, making this not the most terrible cost for might ratio card. We also have Door and Shield, a starting item you can attach for the cost of a Calm. With the key skill of Tank, I must be assigned combat damage first and +1 to might, which might be very good for those decks that have one big chunky unit first and a lot of small units, which means that your opponent has to try and deal with the big giant tank first. The one spell card that we saw today was Feral Strength with erection timing and can be repeated for a cost of 2, and you may pay the additional cost to repeat this spell's effect, which is give a unit +2 might for the turn. So for the cost of 2, gain 2. For the cost of 4, gain 4. Pretty good overall. if you just don't want to have to lose hand advantage. Maybe not the best spell cost-wise, but still pretty darn good. Now for the cost of 2, Guardian's Angel. Equip for a calm, and if I would die, kill Guardian's Angel instead. Heal me, exhaust me, and recall me. Baby. Plus 1 might. Very good, in my opinion, a little bit too good. Having the ability to essentially survive, and this can be up to a 3 over in a deck. Not that I'm saying you would, but gosh darn, that sounds like a really good card to me, especially for the cost of 2. Going now for a cost of 3 and having to recycle 2 calms. Quick draw, equip for a calm, and then claws for concern. Ha 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 ha. Dad puns. And then plus 3 might. Again, not too bad. On the curve for the costings. Obviously, not everyone wants to give away their ruins to go back into their ruin deck, but at the same time, overall, pretty good in my opinion. 3 for 3. And I will butcher this name. I do apologise to those out there. So I think it's Svelsonger for the quick cost of 1 plus a calm. And as this is attached to a unit, copy that unit's text to this equipment's effect text for as long as it is attached to that creature. So essentially, triggers will double. Only the greatest Failure heroes have weapons made of true ice. No. You don't get any additional bonuses from this for the cost of 3 and then the returning a spent ruin. Obviously, return a spent one. But having the ability to double your triggers is actually just fantastic in any game. Trinity Force now for a cost of 4, attach with a body, and then when I hold, score 1 point, and plus 2 might. That is very good, and I can see this happening in some of those more aggro style decks that just want to push for games a bit quicker. Maybe even something that came second in the most recent big tournament. The only unit that appeared today was the Overzealous Fan. For a cost of 2, in Chaos, when I defend, you may kill me to move an attacking unit to its base. Hey, doesn't Draven like to win? This sounds like our winning card. And its flavor text, like Draven says, hit 'em where it hurts, which in this case would be their pride and the fact that you gain some points. A card that isn't a signature card, which I thought it would be, although it makes sense because it wasn't originally, is Blade of the Ruin King for the cost of 3 and give him back an order, equip for an order and kill a friendly unit, which is a fairly high cost, but since you can probably make a lot of recruit tokens, maybe not so much. You are not the hero of this tale, says Viego. For a plus 4 though, it's pretty good. You are getting rid of a body and then costing 3, so the curve is a little sort of up and down, but generally speaking, 4 damage is pretty darn good in this game. And then I think the final card for today is Spinning Axes, which is a signature gear of Draven. Has quick draw, has equipped for any colour, and then temporary. If this is unattached, kill it at the start of your controller's beginning phase before scoring. I love thematics, and this is beautifully thematic as you have to catch the axes. And also, I don't know if this is intentional, but you can only have 3 of these per deck, as that's a playset, and that would mean that you can only have 3 axes, and I'm pretty sure at max attack speed, Draven can have 3 spinning axes at once. So again, thematics is always fun. And then a quote from Draven, "Got axes, need victims." And then it gives you plus 3 might. So that is all the cards today that we've seen. Overall, some very interesting cards, some very cool cards. A full-on support leader seems really interesting. But that is it for me today. Let me know in the comments if you guys are looking forward to any of these cards, or if the set one still has you mostly intrigued. But it's goodbye for now, and see you soon. Mwah! Ciao for now, Summoners.